I am suspicious of my girlfriend's friend because she tried to test me, but told me that I am overreacting, so we decided to test her too. I've been with Olivia for a year, and things have been perfect. We met at a coffee shop where she worked as a barista, and I asked her out on the spot. She has this close group of 3 girlfriends who've always been welcoming to me, especially Harper. We actually bond over the same video games and music taste. So, when Harper invited me out for drinks while Olivia was at her parents' house packing to move in with me, I thought nothing of it. It was supposed to be all 4 of us, Harper and her 2 other friends. We hit a few bars downtown and I was having fun until we somehow lost the other 2 girls in the crowd. Suddenly, it was just Harper and me, and the vibe shifted. I started texting Olivia constant updates because something fell off about the whole situation. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the moment those other 2 disappeared, I got this weird feeling in my gut. Harper was ordering shots and being super touchy, laughing at literally everything I said. I kept checking my phone, making sure Olivia knew exactly where we were. Around midnight, Harper was visibly drunk and suggested we go dancing. I told her no and called an Uber to get her home safely. As we were leaving the bar, she suddenly grabbed my shirt and tried to kiss me. I immediately pulled back and told her this was making me really uncomfortable, but I'd let it slide since she was drunk. She apologized as we waited for the car, but then she got handsy again. She leaned in close and whispered, "Let's go back to your place. No one needs to know." That's when I snapped at her and told her to shut up until the Uber arrived. She kept apologizing over and over, begging me not to tell Olivia. When her car finally came, I made sure she got in and tracked it on my phone to confirm she made it home. I even asked Olivia to check with Harper's roommate to verify she got to her apartment safely. As I walked home, I called Olivia and told her everything that happened. She started crying and I was genuinely furious at Harper's behavior. I mean, this was supposed to be her best friend, you know? Olivia tried calling Harper that night, but her phone went straight to voicemail. I stayed on the phone with Olivia for like 2 hours, just talking through what happened. She kept saying she couldn't believe Harper would do something like that. I told her about every single thing that happened, every word Harper said, every move she made. Olivia was sobbing, saying she felt betrayed. The next morning, Olivia came over to my place with this weird smile on her face. "Hey, it's all good. It was just a test." I stared at her, confused and angry. "What are you talking about?" She showed me Harper's text from that morning. "Olivia, you're so lucky. He passed the test with flying colors. You found a good one." I asked Olivia if she was involved in this setup and she swore she had no idea Harper was going to do it. According to Harper's message, she wanted to make sure I wasn't a cheater before Olivia moved in with me. So she decided to test my loyalty by making advances. But something didn't add up. I told Olivia Harper was completely drunk last night. There's no way she was thinking clearly enough to orchestrate some elaborate loyalty test. And when I confronted her, she literally begged me not to tell you multiple times. Why would she do that if this was a planned test? Olivia's smile faded as she processed what I was saying. I pulled up my phone and showed her the texts I'd sent throughout the night. The timestamps, everything. "Look at this." She was hammered. She could barely walk straight. Does that sound like someone conducting a planned test? Olivia sat down on my couch, staring at her phone. She reread Harper's message like 3 times, and I could see her face changing as reality set in. That's when we decided to flip the script and test Harper instead. I called Harper that afternoon, acting completely normal and casual. "Hey, just checking in. Do you remember what happened last night?" There was a long pause on the other end. Then she said quietly, "Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I was really drunk and totally out of line. No mention of a test. No, congratulations. You passed." "No, I was just making sure you're good for Olivia. Just nervous." Guilty apologies. Olivia was listening on speaker and her face turned red. She grabbed the phone from me and confronted Harper directly. "So, it was a test, right? Like, you texted me this morning." Harper stammered and stuttered, her story falling apart in real time. She tried to backtrack, saying she meant it as a test, but wasn't thinking clearly and shouldn't have done it that way. Olivia pushed harder. "If it was really a test, why did you beg him not to tell me? Why were you apologizing this morning before you sent that text?" Silence. Harper finally spoke. "My boyfriend found out I went out with you alone. He's at your apartment right now. He thinks we slept together because that's what I told him this morning before I knew how to explain what really happened. My apartment, where Olivia kept all her stuff, where her cat was. The guy had a temper. Everyone knew it. I'd seen him punch through a car window at a party last summer when someone cut him off in the parking lot. The dude was unhinged." Olivia's hands were shaking as she tried calling her roommate to check on her cat, but it went straight to voicemail. This was the same psycho who destroyed his ex's entire apartment when he thought she cheated, breaking every single thing she owned. My lease was in my name, and so was everything inside. We hung up on Harper and I grabbed my keys. Olivia was already out the door, practically running to my car. The drive to my apartment felt like forever, even though it was only 10 minutes. I kept thinking about everything I had in there. My gaming setup, my laptop with all my work files, Olivia's grandmother's jewelry she kept in my dresser. I was doing like 70 in a 45. Honestly, didn't care if I got pulled over at that point. When we pulled up to my building, I saw Harper's boyfriend's truck parked in the fire lane. The same beat-up Ford with the dent in the side from when he rear-ended someone and just drove off. My stomach dropped. We ran up the stairs. I didn't even wait for the elevator, and I could hear crashing sounds coming from inside my apartment before we even got to my floor. The neighbors across the hall were standing in their doorway looking scared. I fumbled with my keys. My hands were shaking so bad. The second I got the door open, I saw him. Tyler. He was in my living room and he'd already flipped my coffee table. My TV was face down on the floor, the screen completely shattered. He had Olivia's guitar, the acoustic one her dad gave her, raised above his head like he was about to smash it. When he saw us, his face was pure rage. Red, sweating, veins popping out of his neck. "You think you can sleep with my girlfriend?" he screamed at me. I didn't even have time to respond before he threw the guitar at the wall. It exploded into pieces, strings snapping and flying everywhere. Olivia screamed. She literally screamed, and I'd never heard her make a sound like that before. Tyler started coming at me, and I'm not a small guy, but this dude was like 6'3" and built like he lived at the gym. I backed up, hands up, trying to talk him down. "Man, nothing happened. Harper lied to you. She's been lying about everything," but he wasn't hearing it. He shoved past me and grabbed my laptop off the kitchen counter, and that's when something in me just snapped. That laptop had 3 years of work on it. Client files, everything. I tackled him before he could throw it, and we both went down hard. The laptop skittered across the floor. We were wrestling on the ground, and I was just trying to pin him down, not even throwing punches, just holding him. Olivia was screaming at him to stop, and then I heard her yelling into her phone. "Harper, you need to tell him right now. Tell him the truth or I swear to God." She had Harper on speaker, and I could hear Harper crying on the other end, saying she was sorry. She was so sorry. Tyler was still trying to fight me, but Olivia shoved the phone right in his face. "Tell him!" Olivia screamed, and Harper, sobbing, finally said it. "Nothing happened, Tyler." I lied. I went out with him alone, and I tried to kiss him, and he rejected me, and I panicked when I got home, and you asked where I was, and I made it up. He didn't do anything. He turned me down. Tyler stopped struggling. He just went completely still underneath me. I could feel his whole body tense up in a different way, like all that rage was redirecting. He looked at the phone in Olivia's hand, then at me, then back at the phone. "You lying to me?" His voice was low, dangerous. Harper was still crying, still apologizing, and Tyler shoved me off of him and stood up. He grabbed the phone from Olivia, and the last thing I heard before he stormed out was him screaming at Harper through the phone, telling her they were done, calling her every name in the book. The door slammed so hard the frame cracked. We just stood there for a minute, breathing hard, looking at the destruction. My apartment looked like a tornado hit it. Broken glass everywhere, furniture flipped, picture frames smashed on the floor. Olivia started crying, and I pulled her into a hug. Her cat came out from under the bed, thank God, totally fine, just scared. We spent the next hour just taking in the damage. The TV was totaled. The coffee table had a leg snapped off. Olivia's guitar was in pieces. My bathroom mirror was shattered. He'd even knocked over all my plants. Dirt everywhere. The security deposit was definitely gone. About 20 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. I looked through the peephole and it was Harper. She looked terrible. Mascara running down her face, hair a mess. I opened the door and she pushed her way in without asking, immediately started begging. "Please, please don't tell anyone about this. Tyler already broke up with me. Please, I'll do anything, just don't tell our friends." Olivia stepped in front of me. I'd never seen her look at someone with that much hate. "You'll do anything?" Harper nodded, still crying. Olivia walked right up to her, and before I could react, she shoved Harper against the wall. Not hard enough to hurt her, but hard enough to make a point. "You're going to pay for every single thing that got destroyed. Every single thing. And if you don't, I'm going to make sure everyone we know finds out what kind of person you really are." Harper tried to protest, saying she didn't have that kind of money, but Olivia wasn't having it. "Figure it out. You have 1 week. Harper looked at me like I was going to help her, but I just crossed my arms. "You heard her. 1 week. Harper left, still crying, and honestly, I didn't feel bad at all. But here's where it gets really messed up. I had this feeling, that something still wasn't adding up. So that night, after we'd cleaned up what we could, I texted Harper asking if we could talk in person the next day. Told her I felt bad about how Olivia went off on her and wanted to smooth things over. Harper agreed immediately, way too eager. We met at a coffee shop near her place the next afternoon. I got there early and set my phone on the table. Recording app already running, hidden under a napkin. Harper showed up looking like she'd been crying for hours. She sat down and immediately launched into this whole apology. How sorry she was, how she never meant for things to go that far. I let her talk for a while, just nodding along. Then, I asked her straight up, "Why'd you really do it, Harper? The test thing. Was that ever real?" She hesitated, and I could see her trying to figure out what to say. So I pushed. Because it doesn't make sense. The timing, the way you acted, the way you panicked. Just tell me the truth. And maybe it was because I was being nice, or maybe she just needed to tell someone, but she actually admitted it. She said she'd had feelings for me for months, basically since Olivia and I started dating. She thought if she could get me alone, drunk, that maybe something would happen and Olivia and I would break up and she'd have a chance. The test excuse was something she came up with the next morning when she sobered up and realized how badly she'd messed up. She thought if she framed it as looking out for Olivia, she could salvage the friendship. I just sat there, my mind racing. She kept talking, saying she knew it was wrong, but she couldn't help how she felt. That I was different from other guys, that we connected in a way she and Tyler never did. It was honestly kind of pathetic, but I let her keep going because I wanted everything on tape. When I finally left that coffee shop, I had a recording of Harper admitting the whole thing. I went straight to Olivia's place and played it for her. She listened to the whole thing, her face getting darker and darker. When it finished, she looked at me and said, "We need to tell everyone." I agreed. Harper had tried to destroy our relationship, had let her psycho boyfriend trash my apartment, and then tried to manipulate her way out of consequences. Nah, not happening. We decided to handle it at game night. We had this thing every other Friday where our whole friend group got together at someone's place to play board games and just hang out. It was supposed to be at Harper's place that week, but Olivia convinced the host rotation person to switch it to her friend Jade's apartment instead. Harper wouldn't suspect anything because we did swap locations sometimes based on who had the most space. The group chat went out, everyone confirmed they were coming, including Harper. Friday came and I was honestly nervous. Like, I'm not typically the kind of person who does confrontation in front of people, but this felt necessary. We all showed up at Jade's place. About 12 people total. Harper came with her roommate, acting totally normal, like nothing had happened. She even came up and hugged Olivia, which took some serious audacity. We played a couple games, had some drinks, and then Olivia stood up and got everyone's attention. "Hey guys, before we start the next game, there's something I need to address." The room got quiet. Harper's face went pale. Olivia pulled out her phone and said, "Some of you have been asking why Harper and I have been weird lately. I wanted everyone to hear the truth." And then she played the recording. The whole thing, Harper admitting she'd been into me for months, that she'd tried to seduce me, that the test was a lie she made up after the fact. You could hear a pin drop. Everyone just stared at Harper. When the recording ended, Harper tried to laugh it off, saying it was taken out of context, but our friend Josh cut her off. "How is that out of context? You literally just said you tried to break them up." Harper's roommate stood up and moved away from her. One of the other girls, Becca, who'd known Harper since college, just said, "That's pathetic, Harper. That's actually pathetic." Harper grabbed her purse and ran out, but not before Olivia's friend called after her, "Don't bother coming back." I thought that would be the end of it. Harper was out of the friend group. Everyone knew what she did, and Olivia and I could just move on. But Harper wasn't done, not even close. About a week later, Olivia started getting messages from mutual friends asking if I'd really been harassing Harper. I was confused until someone forwarded us screenshots. Harper had created fake text conversations that made it look like I'd been sending her inappropriate messages for weeks, begging her to meet up behind Olivia's back, even after the bar incident. They looked real, too. She'd somehow matched my texting style, used phrases I actually say. Some of them were time-stamped from before the bar night, making it look like I'd been pursuing her all along. She was sending them to people who weren't at game night, people who didn't hear the recording, spinning this whole narrative that I was the one obsessed with her and that Olivia and I were ganging up on her to cover my tracks. I was furious. Olivia was furious. But we needed proof that Harper was behind it before we could do anything. So I set a trap. I texted Harper from a new number, pretending to be someone named Justin who'd heard her side of the story and believed her. I said I was friends with one of her coworkers and had my own bad experience with me. Harper ate it up. We texted back and forth for like 2 days, and I fed her a fake piece of information, told her that I'd apparently confessed to another friend that I'd hooked up with someone at a work conference last year. It was completely made up. I'd never been to a work conference last year, but within 6 hours, there was a burner account on Twitter posting about how I was a serial cheater who'd hooked up with someone at a work conference. The account even used the exact phrasing I'd used in the fake texts. Boom, we had her. I screenshot everything, showed Olivia, and we knew exactly what we had to do. Harper's birthday party was that next weekend. Big thing at her parents' house, family, friends, the whole deal. Olivia and I weren't invited, obviously, but we knew where it was. We got there around 8, when the party was in full swing. Walked right in through the back gate. Harper was in the middle of opening presents when she saw us. Her face went white. Olivia walked straight up to the table where all the gifts were and put down a folder. "Birthday present," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Harper's mom asked what was going on, and I pulled out printed copies of everything. Screenshots of the burner accounts, the fake text conversations Harper made, the messages from Justin with the fake conference story, and the Twitter post that proved Harper was running the burner account. We'd matched the timestamps, the phrasing, everything. I handed them out to people standing around. Harper's dad took one look at it and his face hardened. "What is this?" Harper tried to grab the papers out of his hands, but he held them away from her. Olivia explained everything, calmly, clearly, in front of everyone. Harper tried to deny it, but when her aunt asked her directly if she'd made fake screenshots, Harper just started crying. Didn't even deny it, just cried. Her friends started leaving, like they just put down their plates and walked out. Her cousin told her she was disappointed in her. Her mom looked mortified. We didn't stick around after that, just left the folder on the table and walked out. I heard Harper's dad yelling at her as we got to the car. A couple days later, I got a message on Instagram from someone I didn't know, Tyler, Harper's ex. He said he'd heard what happened at the party, that mutual friends had told him about the fake screenshots. He asked if we could meet up. I was hesitant, given that he'd destroyed my apartment, but he said he had information I'd want to hear. We met at a diner, very public, and he showed me his phone. Text conversations between Harper and multiple guys who were all in relationships. She had a pattern. She'd get close to coupled guys, try to create situations where she could make a move, and then if it didn't work, she'd try to break them up through other means. Tyler had screenshots going back almost 2 years. He showed me messages where Harper had told him she was just friends with at least 3 different guys, and then he'd later find out she'd tried something with all of them. One guy's girlfriend had actually broken up with him because Harper convinced her he was cheating, even though he wasn't. Tyler said he'd been in denial about it when they were together, always believed Harper's excuses, but after everything that went down with us, he'd gone through her old messages and found all of this. I asked him why he was showing me this, and he said, "Because I was an idiot and I almost seriously hurt you over her lies, and she's still out there doing it to other people." He gave me contact info for 2 of the other guys Harper had targeted. I reached out to them and their girlfriends, told them what happened, showed them the evidence we had. They were grateful, said they'd suspected something was off but hadn't had proof. We all compared notes and realized Harper had literally tried this same move on 4 different couples in our extended social circle over the past year and a half. One of the girlfriends, Amy, worked at a non-profit with Harper. She said Harper had been pretty much ostracized at the birthday party but still had her job, was still going around acting like the victim. So the 6 of us, me, Olivia, Tyler, and the other 2 couples, decided we needed to make sure Harper couldn't keep doing this. We met up and planned it out. We'd go to Harper's workplace, not to cause a scene, but to calmly present the evidence to her manager and co-workers. The restaurant where Harper worked was this upscale brunch place downtown. We went on a Wednesday afternoon. During the slow period between lunch and dinner, Harper was working. We could see her through the window in her server uniform. We walked in and asked the host if we could speak with the manager. Guy came out, probably mid-40s, friendly enough. We told him we had some concerns about one of his employees' conduct and if we could speak privately. He took us to a back office, and we laid it all out. Showed him the fake screenshots Harper had created, explained the pattern of behavior with multiple people, showed him the evidence from Tyler's phone. The manager's face got serious. He called in another supervisor, and we went through it again. Then he called Harper into the office. She walked in smiling, probably thinking she was getting complimented or something, and then she saw all of us sitting there. The color drained from her face. The manager asked her directly if she'd created fake text conversations to defame me. Harper looked around at all of us, trapped, and just said, "I can explain." The manager cut her off. "This is unacceptable behavior. We have a reputation to maintain, and we can't have employees who engage in this kind of manipulative conduct." He told her to collect her things and leave. She was fired, effective immediately. Harper started crying, begging him to reconsider, but he was done. He walked her out to get her stuff from her locker. We left through the front, and Harper followed us into the parking lot, screaming. She was completely losing it, calling Olivia every name in the book, saying we'd ruined her life. Olivia pulled out her phone and just started recording. Harper was hysterical, mascara running, literally shaking with rage. She was screaming about how we'd turned everyone against her, how we were going to regret this, how she'd make sure everyone knew we were the real villains. A few customers came out of the restaurant to see what the commotion was. It was a complete meltdown. When Harper finally tired herself out, Olivia stopped recording. "Thanks for that," she said calmly. Harper looked confused, then horrified when she realized she'd just been filmed. Olivia didn't say anything else, just got in the car with me. We drove off and Harper was still standing in the parking lot, looking destroyed. That same night, Olivia posted the video to her Instagram story. Not on main, just stories, but everyone saw it. The comments were brutal. People calling Harper unhinged, saying she needed help, that this was proof we'd been right all along. But Harper still had one more move. A few days later, Olivia's mom called her, upset. Harper had sent her a long message on Facebook, painting herself as the victim, saying I'd actually pursued her and that Olivia and I were lying to cover it up. She said she had evidence that I was manipulative and controlling, that Olivia was in danger, and that as Olivia's mother, she needed to know the truth. She sent similar messages to Olivia's dad and her older brother. Olivia was shaking when she showed me the messages. But here's the thing, we'd already thought of this possibility. I'd sent the full confession recording to Olivia's parents days ago, right after game night, just in case. Olivia called her mom and asked if she'd listened to it. Her mom said yes, she'd heard the whole thing, and that Harper's message had actually made her angry, because it was clearly manipulative. Olivia's dad got on the phone and said if Harper contacted them again, he'd file a harassment report. Her brother texted separately and said, "Tell that psycho if she messages mom again, I'm showing up at her door." Her family had our backs completely. Olivia's mom told her to block Harper on everything and that she was no longer welcome at family events. Her dad said he'd already told Harper's parents what really happened when he ran into Harper's dad at the hardware store. Apparently, Harper's dad had apologized profusely and said they'd had no idea Harper was capable of something like this. That actually felt like vindication, you know? Even Harper's own family was seeing through her act. After that, I decided to end this once and for all. I made one final post on social media, a long one, laying out everything that had happened from start to finish. The bar night, the fake test, Tyler destroying my apartment, Harper's confession recording, the fake screenshots, the burner accounts, the pattern of behavior with other couples, all of it. I attached every piece of evidence we had. The confession recording, screenshots of the burner accounts, testimonials from the other couples Harper had targeted, everything. I tagged everyone in our mutual friend group and made the post public. It blew up, like way bigger than I expected. People I hadn't talked to in years were commenting, sharing it, saying they'd had weird experiences with Harper too. Someone from her high school said Harper had done something similar back then, spreading rumors about a girl whose boyfriend Harper wanted. A guy from her gym said she'd tried to get him to cheat on his wife. It was like once people felt safe to speak up, everyone had a Harper story. The post got shared hundreds of times. Our mutual friends all commented supporting us, confirming parts of the story they'd witnessed firsthand. Even Tyler commented, apologizing publicly for destroying my apartment and confirming that Harper had lied to him. Within a day, it had been seen by basically everyone in our social circle and beyond. Harper's Instagram went private. Her Twitter got deleted. She blocked everyone. For a few weeks, things were quiet. It felt like it was finally over. Olivia and I moved forward. We started looking at getting a new place together since my apartment had too many bad memories and the lease was up anyway. We found a nice 2-bedroom across town, started packing up our stuff. Life was getting back to normal. And then, late one night around midnight, there was pounding on my apartment door. Aggressive, loud pounding that made the door shake in its frame. I looked through the peephole and it was Harper. She looked absolutely wrecked. Hair was a mess, eyes red and swollen, makeup smeared everywhere. She was drunk. I could tell by the way she was swaying. She kept pounding and screaming my name. "I know you're in there! Open the door, I just want to talk!" Olivia came out of the bedroom, scared. "Is that her?" I nodded. Harper kept banging. "Please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just need you to forgive me. I've lost everything. My job, my friends, my family won't even talk to me." She was sobbing between screams, and I could hear neighbors opening their doors. Someone yelled that they were calling the cops if she didn't shut up. Harper didn't care. "Please, I'll do anything. I'll go to therapy. I'll make a public apology. Just, please, tell everyone it's okay now. Tell them to give me another chance." She slammed her fist against the door again and again. Olivia grabbed my arm. "Don't open it." But I wanted this to end. I unlocked the door and opened it just enough to stand in the doorway. Harper's face lit up with hope for a second. She tried to push forward, but I held up my hand. She reeked of alcohol, could barely stand straight. "Please," she sobbed. "I made mistakes, okay? I made mistakes, but everyone does. You got your revenge? You humiliated me? Isn't that enough? Can't you just tell people to leave me alone now?" I looked at her, really looked at her. This person who'd tried to wreck my relationship, who'd manipulated everyone around her, who'd hurt multiple people and only cared now that she was facing consequences. I felt nothing but contempt. "Harper," I said, my voice flat and cold. "You destroyed your own life. Every single thing that happened to you was because of choices you made. Not me, not Olivia. You." Her face crumpled and she started crying harder. "But I cut her off. You had 100 chances to be a decent person. You chose this." I stepped back into my apartment and slammed the door in her face.